Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Samantha and I am the Gem Priestess. I'm an energy healer who is here to help you work through, some of these physical ailments, physical discomforts that we kind of, deal with day to day, weekly, monthly, annually, randomly, whatever it may be, any kind of physical discomfort that always does come from an emotional problem. So I'm here to help you figure out, what is going on inside of us emotionally. How can we get these trapped emotions out of our body and help us to feel good, just in our body, in our life, in who we are. All of these things definitely can, hold us back from, doing what we want to do, living our best life, and, being able to call in more things if we're not comfortable with, who we are in here and, in our skin, in our body. It's definitely going to be so much harder to be able to feel comfortable, progressing in life and really, doing what, we want to do and feel like we need to do. So I know it's kind of weird, kind of can get confusing, but down in the description box will be a link to my website, will be a link to my energy healings. You guys can definitely, look at that, hear from clients of mine, how, the service went for them. You can hear, I talk a little more in depth about, trapped emotions and really like how that can play a big part in, just our daily life. So like I said, down in the description box will be a link to that. You guys can read that and check that out and get, all the more information that you can, and, to really, feel comfortable and like, okay, what is it that Samantha does? How can she help me? All of that is linked down below. But definitely for today's video, I definitely want to talk about how, these different kind of negatively trapped emotions, how they can, relate to our different chakras, and how, that can, play in these physical kind of ailments, and, really just what it means and what emotions are trapped where, and, just kind of just the first beginning steps as to how to, work through them, work through that, get to, feeling good again. So definitely, if you have those questions like, what, like, how do these energy healings work, like what is she talking about, a chakra? Definitely it is something that is not, general information. So I am definitely here to help to break it down for you guys and to really help you understand, okay, what is going on, what is it that I do, how can I help you, how can you, how are you feeling bad now, and how can we get you to feeling better? So it is a lot. There is a lot going on, but I promise you it is definitely all worth it. You are worth feeling good in your body, feeling great in your body, and really just being able to feel comfortable in this world. We were put here for a reason, and that reason was not discomfort, was not, displeasure, any of that bad stuff. It is here for all of the good stuff. So we are working towards getting you towards the good stuff. So definitely stay tuned, because we are definitely going to be in for a good one today. So I've definitely talked about chakras before on this channel. I've mentioned it in various videos, and I even have a little chakra series about, just kind of the basics of the chakras, where they align in the body, just kind of what, their function is, how they kind of relate to us. But really, when we talk about chakras, we talk about, finding that good balance, not being too much in the negative, and not, overworking our chakras. So definitely, there are some emotions that really do have to deal with each of those chakras. And so, especially, being underdeveloped or overdeveloped, it definitely does still come from that lower vibrational place. And that's what's really going to cause you, a lot of, discomfort, a lot of trauma. We're going to trap these emotions in our body, trap these thoughts in our bodies, and we are not really going to know what to do with all of that. So, I've talked about this before, especially in another video, my kind of hierarchy of emotions video, where, we definitely went through and talked about, how emotions, we all are just kind of climbing that ladder of emotions. And down at the bottom is, shame and degradation. And, climbing up, then there's guilt. And then, there's neutrality. And then there's unconditional love. And right at the top is ecstasy. And so we're constantly just climbing these ladders of emotions. And with these different emotions, from the lower vibrational and even the higher vibrational, they do align with different chakras. But like I said, doing that underactive and that overactive chakra is really going to come from that lower vibrational emotion. And so I definitely want to go over with you guys just kind of where these feelings are being, these lower vibrational emotions are getting stuck in our body, and how, we can move through them, and, just kind of just some of the discomfort and kind of things that they can, cause in our life, and really just kind of wreak havoc on us when we don't deserve that at all. All right, so all the way at the, bottom of the ladder, really the lowest vibrational emotion is going to be shame and degradation. And that really does, come into play with our solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is going to be, I always call it the chakra of the self. It's, your willpower, your self-confidence, just everything that kind of has to do with you, how you feel about yourself, and just kind of how you go about the world, your kind of comforts and discomforts in that way. That's definitely all going to have to play a big role with shame. Definitely when we are shamed into things, that's definitely going to affect how, we feel, definitely about ourselves. So that's definitely why that solar plexus chakra is coming into play. We're going to be shamed into, oh my gosh, like when you were a kid, like, haha, like you fell off the swings, and now you're going to be afraid to, show yourself and be confident to go out and do new things, because, you never process that emotion and never process that memory of shame and, falling off the swings, falling off the slide, whatever it may, going out and, your clothes don't match and someone said something to you when you were a kid, stuff like that, where we're shamed into so many different things. That's definitely going to stop us from, being confident, having the strength and the willpower to go out and do things, because you're going to feel like, oh, well, I can't do this because of X, X, and X, I'm not enough. Oh, like I'm going to get made fun of again. And like, it's easier if I just sit back and relax and not really have to worry about that kind of stuff, because at that point, like, it's just going to be easier. I'm not going to get made fun of. And, you never truly know if you are or are not going to get made fun of when you try something as, an adult. But that feeling in your body and your mind is always trying to protect you. So you're going to get those feelings, those kind of residual feelings of shame flooding through your body and saying like, oh no, don't do that. Like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Like, we got you. We're going to keep you safe. And that it's not going to be good for you. You're not going to be able to go out and do things, and it's really going to, stop you from that. And so, within our body, our solar plexus chakra really does have to do with, just kind of our like digestion, organs, digestive organs, all of that stuff. We call it like that gut feeling really does have to do with the solar plexus chakra. So just kind of anything with, your gut health, digestion, if you are experiencing any problems with that is, I'm definitely going to say, is a huge solar plexus chakra problem. And there's definitely something going on with that. So, definitely keep a lookout for that, keep, an eye out for that, because that is definitely something that is going to get you while you are down. So definitely, on that ladder of emotions going on, that we're always trying to climb up, above shame, above, working with our solar plexus chakra, is going to be the sacral chakra. And that is going to have to do with any feelings of like guilt, deception, dishonesty, just kind of anything in that realm of, feelings, of emotions, of memories. That's all going to have to do with your sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra, definitely has to deal with, your kind of creative expression, your life force. The sacral chakra does really talk about and deal with, just kind of your reproductive organs, your bladder, just kind of all of that in that general area in your body. So, with that, we are talking about, creation and, creating creativity and, if you're having problems, with those kind of, with that area in your body, things that stem from that, if you're suffering from, PCOS, or, even like UTIs, and, just kind of stuff like that, that really does stem from a sacral chakra problem. And it really is going to, stop you from, not feeling, comfortable in, wanting things and seeking pleasure from things, from, you're not going to want to travel, or, go shopping and buy new things, or, really experience the world for how great and, just a great and wonderful place it is, because you are going to be so caught up and so afraid, and just harbor all of this guilt stuck inside of you. And, that's not gonna really get you anywhere. So definitely working through, kind of any emotions of guilt if you're wanting to, step into, something new, or kind of even surpass, your parents, and kind of even their, financial bracket. That is something that can come with a lot of guilt. And so, I can speak from experience as a menstruating person. I'm sure all my other menstruating people out there can relate to that. But, you kind of feel this shame and this anxiety towards, wanting something new and stepping into something new. And, your cycle gets all messed up because you're stressed out. You're worried about this. You're worried about that. That is definitely a symptom of, feeling that guilt and, harboring all of these other negative energies. So it really is going to, stem from all of these different things. So that is definitely something that, if you're struggling with that, to really, take a look at, okay, am I feeling guilty about something? Am I feeling, just honest about something doesn't feel right, definitely take a look at that, because that is going to really help you navigate, okay, well, what is the source of my problem? How am I feeling? How is this playing out in my body? How is this playing out in this new situation? It's really going to make things very clear for you. And above guilt, on the ladder of emotions, is going to be, grief and sorrow and loneliness, and just kind of any kind of emotions in that, vicinity. And that's definitely going to have to do with your heart chakra. And the heart chakra kind of controls anything that is going on with, your heart, with your chest, with your lungs. So if you're having any kind of issues with that, definitely my people with asthma out there, even sometimes just like chest rashes. Like I know sometimes I will get that, and, my chest will get really red and really itchy. So definitely, stuff like that, where things are happening on your body too, are going to play such a huge role in stuff like that. So definitely anything in this kind of region here, that's all gonna have to do with your heart chakra and those emotions of, grief and sorrow and loneliness. And so that's really gonna affect, how you love others, how you love yourself, and how you love the world, kind of how you nurture, stuff like that is all encompassing in the heart chakra. So, a lot of times if we've been, even just with, past relationships, even relationships as kids, or how we see other people's relationships, our parents' relationships, if we have siblings and their relationships with their significant others, aunts, uncles, other friends, whatever, we, even if we consciously know it or not, are always taking in information. Our brain is always taking in information, and it is storing it in these different compartments in our mind and in our body. So sometimes we don't even fully know what we are kind of watching, what we're getting into, what we're subscribing to in a sense. And so, sometimes you might think like, oh yeah, like whatever, my sister and her boyfriend growing up, like they weren't the best. They were always fighting, but like, whatever. Like I was just like playing video games and they fought. Like your body, your mind is taking in that information and is, storing it in your heart chakra, and is really, that does play a huge role in how you interact in your relationships with others and in your relationship with yourself. We are, I will be the first to say I am not always the best with, kind of these long-term things, but, we are very much in a long-term relationship with ourselves. So it very much plays a huge role in how we treat ourselves long-term, not just today, tomorrow, for the next week, for every day for the rest of our lives. So stuff like that does play a big role. So it is, again, important to kind of sit back, sit through your life and be like, okay, well, what really was, going on with that? Maybe, was I kind of scared when my sister and her boyfriend were arguing when they were kids? Did I play video games to kind of escape that, but I could still hear what was going on because they were really loud? Whatever that may be. There's always something different going on, something different for everyone. You saw people fighting on the street together, or, your neighbors next door, or whatever. There's always so much going on. And so we are taking that in, and that is really going to play a huge role in, our, how we interact in our relationships, and ultimately even how we interact in our relationship with ourselves. And that really does, again, show up in just our health and how comfortable we're feeling in our body, and what is ultimately going on, how we're feeling, and what's been stored deep down inside of here. So up, again, climbing that ladder, still moving closer to neutrality, is going to be feelings of disillusionment, dissatisfaction, unhappiness. All of that is really going to work with your third eye chakra. And, that definitely does take control of, your brain, your ears, your eyes, anything that is going on in, this region, all has to do with, your third eye chakra. So, if you suffer from, migraines, these headaches that come right behind the eyes, sometimes, you can't hear, correctly, you can't really focus, maybe your memory isn't the best, your eyesight isn't the best. Like, I'll be the first to let you guys know, I wear contacts all the time. My eyesight is, it's okay. It's not the best, but, it's okay. But, all of these things, again, do come from, this problem with our third eye chakra. Our third eye chakra is all about, kind of seeing the big picture and our spirituality, and just kind of all of the, that giant journey. And so especially, you might notice this a lot if you are really beginning your spirituality journey, or maybe, you were kind of trying to put it off for a little too long, that, maybe you're not so focused, you're very, me and my clients, sometimes we call it, after meditation, we call it kind of floaty head, where you don't, always feel in your body, you don't feel really tethered, you kind of exist, somewhere around here, so you definitely can feel that way just kind of all the time, and not just after a meditation. So definitely, if that is something that is going on, you might be having something going on with your spirituality, just kind of your beliefs around that, and just really how you're seeing things play out in your life. You've been seeing things a certain way for so long, and now you're seeing them completely different, or you're starting to see that they're not what you thought that they were. And so how that kind of plays out emotionally does kind of play out physically, seeing things. Definitely, you might have some issues with your eyes, hearing, just kind of waking up to, just kind of this new reality, and realizing like, oh, I'm unhappy in my life. I'm not satisfied. Like, this whole thing just kind of feels like this giant lie, this kind of giant facade. So definitely, if you're feeling, kind of like that, you're kind of having these emotions, it's definitely something that is going on with your third eye chakra, and that is definitely something that we can fix. So above that, on the little emotional ladder, is going to be feelings of betrayal, of deceit, of lies. And that is all going to have to do with the throat chakra. The throat chakra does have to deal with all about communicating, being able to, express yourself and your thoughts and your feelings, and really, take in what others are saying, and, really just being able to, how you communicate with others. So definitely that is going to play a big role if you are feeling feelings of betrayal and deceit and lies, because you are communicating with people, and it's becomes sort of leaning on this untrustworthiness, because you maybe have been scorned too many times, and you're like, oh, well, what's going on? Like, I don't know. You feel like you want to trust someone, but you are ultimately always being like, oh, but I don't know, like, something just, something might never feel right in any new person that you're meeting. You're always wanting to try to trust someone, but you're like, oh, I don't, you know, there's something in the way, there's some kind of block that's happening, and that is all going to come from your throat chakra. Or even, you know, if you are someone where, you know, maybe you're not feeling that someone else is lying to you, but maybe to protect yourself, you're even lying to others. You know, you're very much like, oh, well, I don't want them to get close to me, so I'm just gonna kind of make up this facade, and, you know, to be able to keep my distance, because then no one's gonna be able to really get to know the real you and really feel this kind, you know, what's going on with you. So definitely, if you're feeling somewhere in there, if you have experienced that with other people, or even, you know, growing up, a lot of times these trapped emotions inside us do have to deal with, you know, when we were growing up. So that's why I keep going back to that. But, you know, maybe growing up, you saw that with, you know, your parents, or, you know, sometimes, you know, parents want you to be a little better than you are, so they'll kind of show off a little bit, but or even just show up on their lives, you know, when they run into someone on the, you know, in the grocery store. And so then you're like, oh, mom, like, that's not true. Like, we don't do that. We don't have that, you know, whatever it may be. Because, you know, we're always trying to, like, people are trying to show up and seem like they're doing better, you know, quote unquote, whatever they think better is for them. So, you know, sometimes if you're seeing that, you can kind of normalize that in your brain and your body and your emotions, and you're like, oh, like, I don't really like that. That wasn't really right, you know, but you find yourself doing it all the time because you just normalize it. You're like, oh, well, mom did that, so it's fine. Oh, well, you know, I saw this, or, you know, they did this to me first, or, you know, whatever it may be. So that definitely is going to play a role in that. And above that is going to be, you know, emotions that are connected with your root chakra. And that's definitely going to be feelings of, you know, fear and worry and abandonment, you know, insecurity, stuff like that. That's all with the root chakra. And that's kind of, you know, all going to work with, you know, just the root chakra, kind of the root of you. So, you know, your bones, your muscles, your joints, you know, your skin, stuff like that. That is all going to deal with, you know, your root chakra and those feelings of, you know, just that ultimate feeling of fear, and, you know, however that stems from. So sometimes, you know, I've talked about it on here a couple times. I am not afraid. I am not, you know, ashamed of that. But, you know, I definitely have talked about problems with, you know, my own skin. And so it's definitely come for me as I'm trying to, you know, step into something new, step into something better for me. You know, my body and my mind are doing as they do best. And, you know, they are very much like, oh no, like, nope, we are afraid of that. We are scared of that. Like, nope. And it will kind of show me, you know, problems, you know, going on with my skin. I always show my hands, because usually my hands are, you know, really bad when stuff like that happens. So, you know, they're very much like, oh, nope. And they will, you know, show up in signs of that as kind of like that warning symbol for people. Like, nope, warning, stay away from me. I am afraid, you know, whatever. So, you know, it's always your body is communicating to you when these different things are hurting, when these different things are, you know, in pain, you're not comfortable in your body, in yourself. You know, it is all just a warning sign to let you know, like, hey, I am feeling afraid, or I'm feeling guilty or shame or whatever. So that is all that it is. So if you are having problems in any of that, you know, you are afraid of what's going on, you know, you are in shock of something, you're feeling very insecure about, you know, whatever's going on, these new steps that you're taking, you know, if you're in a new environment, just stuff like that, it really is all about that. And we can, you know, work through that. And as you guys can see, you know, I might be a little bit red now because I was just rubbing it, but like my skin is a heck of a lot better on the back of my hand. So I can definitely say that I have worked through some stuff. So it is possible, it can be possible. And, you know, we definitely can reverse a lot of things that are going on inside of you. And above that, you know, right below neutrality, kind of the last couple of emotions that are really going to be, you know, low vibrational, are going to be, you know, feelings and emotions that have to do with, you know, the attachment of your ego, you know, so very much vanity and, you know, judgment, you know, stuff like that, judging others, judging yourself, you know, being kind of, you know, too focused in, you know, just the self and not really looking towards other brighter things, you know, definitely that, you know, these are things that are going to come in very life altering ways. You know, they are going to show themselves in very life altering body discomforts. Definitely, you know, I will always say this, I am not a doctor, I'm not a professional, so I'm not going to be like naming things out there like, oh, yep, this has to do with this, this, and this. You know, I am not that, so I'm just definitely going to put that out there that I am not a doctor. I am not saying that, you know, this is completely, that I am completely against doctors and I don't agree with them. So always, and saying that, and you guys will see that everywhere too, that I am, you know, not a doctor, I'm not a licensed professional, I am just, you know, a girl who has done some research and who has seen some things and who have changed some things on herself, and I'm trying to share that along with others. So definitely have had to put that out there. But yes, these, you know, things that have to do with these all has to do with your crown chakra. So anything that is really connecting you to your ego, again, that vanity, that judgment of self, or, you know, even others, it's really going to hold you back. You know, we talk a lot, you know, if some of you guys are in, you know, more into the spiritual development community, personal development community, you know, you're going to see a lot of times that people are talking about like, oh, well, judging others is really going to lower you down. It's more about celebrating others really brings your vibrations up and your celebration up. So that's definitely where that stems from, and it's not, you know, as harsh as an emotion as fear or guilt or shame. So that's definitely where that falls onto that ladder. And, you know, it's definitely just about tweaking the mind a little bit of, you know, not obsessing over other people and what they're doing, and, oh, well, how come they can do it but I can't, you know, stuff like that. It is very much an easier tweak, and so that is why it is up higher on that ladder of emotions. And so it, you know, again, it's just right there, right below neutrality. And so the more that we climb even just these little half steps on this ladder, we are going to see a huge improvement in our lives. And so that is really definitely going to help us in where we want to go and where we want to be. But that is definitely going to be it for today's video. You know, definitely down below in the comments, or, you know, just like this video, let me know how you guys felt about this. If you really want to see, I can definitely do another video talking about, you know, more of the high vibrational emotions and how those relate to the different chakras and how things can look very differently. So if you are interested in that, definitely, like I said, comment, like this video, let me know. And again, if you are looking into, you know, getting some of these things fixed, you know, this back pain, these headaches, you know, these skin problems, you know, whatever it may be, down in the description box will be a link to my website. You guys can click that, check out my energy healing sessions, and, you know, we can definitely work on some things and get you feeling good in your body, confident in your body, and comfortable in your body, because that is always the most important thing. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I enjoyed hanging out with you, and I cannot wait until I see you guys next time. Bye-bye.